Happy, and this is the game demo to our game called Pigeon Instinct. And our game is arcade shoot 'em up kind of game, which you'd see similar to Galaga or Space Invaders. So the reason why we decided to choose this is we wanted to do something that was simple, but we didn't want to do something that would, I guess, become a little bit too simple, if that makes sense. So as of right now, as we see here, when we were designing the game, there were these four green rectangles over here. This would act as a boundary for the game, so you'd have to reassure that the player doesn't go off screen because he or she went a little bit too much to the left, to the right, or up or down. And then over here is the player, the little spaceship that was designed through pixel art. And then over here was the enemy, which was a pigeon, which was also designed through pixel art, but for some strange reason, the quality of it really got hindered by a lot. And then over here, we have a model of a bullet. Now this model would be what the player would shoot out of his or her ship. The pigeons would also shoot back, but with the same model, but with a different color, and that would be red with a little bit of dark black in there. And behind the boundaries were two things, a kill zone, one on the bottom and one on the top. And this was designed to keep in-game lag to a minimum. So whenever a pigeon would keep going down and whenever bullets would keep going up or down, they'd hit this they would either hit this boundary over here or the one on top, and once they touched it, it would just immediately destroy the game object. And as I said, it would act as a way to prevent any in-game lag of some sort. And then over here we have some particle effects to make it look like the player is moving forward, but in reality, moving forward through an infinite space, but in reality, the player is stuck through this just entire white rectangle that you see here. And this is some of the gameplay right here. Just give it some time for it to load. Okay, over here. So the player has the option to move left, right, up, and down. And as you can see, all these pigeons have spawned through a randomizer through waves of 3, and the player could also shoot back, which grants 100 points per each pigeon that you shoot, and it will just keep accumulating through the score, as you can see here from the top left corner of the screen. And every time you get hit, the ship should keep flickering a little bit hard to tell, but it's just there to show that the player got hit. And if you get hit, if you hit a pigeon 2 times, you'll see orange pixels just popping out. This was to show kind of an explosion effect towards it. And whenever the player gets hit, yellow pixels would come out as an explosion. This was to show also that the enemy or the player is killed. Of course, I had to change the pixel colors to the player to yellow because to reassure that you could tell the difference between who is dead, the pigeon or the player. And how this correlates to our game is that it was just based on, let's just make a game where you just shoot birds. So we kind of came from that perspective and thought, okay, let's see what game we could create. So we just decided to let's just make a shoot 'em up game and see where this takes us. And it kind of led us to this arcade-style game. And that's probably all for the demo as of now. The objective is to get the highest score you can get without dying. And as you can see here, every time I keep playing it back, the score still goes back to the last time you played as, because this is through the in-game engine, not through an actual product release. But other than that, this should be all for the game demo.